Hello everyone and welcome back to So Sports. And in today's video I'm gonna change it up. I've been doing a lot of what's next for teams, and today I decided to do my mock draft. I think my mock draft is really good, and this is just gonna be the first 14 picks, first lottery. I don't want to do the rest until the playoffs are over. As of right now, it's Raptors versus Warriors in finals. I'm pulling for Raptors in, I think the Raptors can get this in 7, considering they have home court. KD's injured. I know DeMarcus Cousins is supposed to play, but I don't know how much of an impact he has. Maybe he'll hurt the Warriors more than he'll help. But I mean, yeah, I got the Raptors in 7. But enough with that. Let's get into my mock draft. So with the first overall pick, I have the New Orleans Pelicans selecting, of course, none other than Zion Williamson. This guy is far and away the best player in the draft. He's probably the best prospect we've had, dare I say, since LeBron. Maybe since LeBron. He's definitely the most talked about since LeBron, without a doubt. He's just super athletic. He's a good playmaker, good defender, and he has a high work ethic. I think he'll be great for this team moving forward. And it's crazy to think that they have this number 1 overall pick, considering they were going to try to trade for it with AD. So, yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, Zion Williamson with the first overall pick. With the second overall pick, I have the Memphis Grizzlies selecting Ja Morant out of Murray State. He's far and away the second best player in this draft. And this also signals the end of the grit and grind era in Memphis, because I do believe that they would trade Mike Conley if they draft him, and I do think they're going to draft him. So yeah. And with the third pick, I got the Knicks selecting RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett's a great scorer, good playmaker, great defensively. He's a good all-around, and he's best player available, and he'll be great for years to come. But yeah, I mean, that's the consensus top 3 by everybody. So here's the bulk. Here's where things can get interesting. So with number 4, I was thinking long and hard about this. At first, I thought the Lakers would select Darius Garland, but I don't think so. I see them selecting DeAndre Hunter from Virginia. DeAndre Hunter is a great 3-and-D player, a guy who averaged 15 points per game this year and shot 44% from 3 this year. 44. That's great. That's exactly what the Lakers need, a great 3-and-D player. Now, but in my opinion, I don't think the Lakers keep this trade. But again, it's a mock draft, so if they were to keep it, I think they definitely select DeAndre Hunter. He'd fit next to LeBron well, fit this team well. And yeah. Now with the 5th pick, also I was torn between the guy I'm going to say and Cam Reddish. But in the end, I think my Cleveland Cavaliers will select Jarrett Culver from Texas Tech. I mean, you talk about a guy who's a great scorer. He averaged 18 points per game this year. He's a great playmaker. My only problem with him is that his efficiency dipped down a lot from 3. I think last year he shot around 38%, and this year he shot around 30%. But I mean, he had more touches, more minutes. He had a bigger role in offense, so maybe that played a part in it. And I think he'll fix that. I mean, considering maybe his future teammate Colin Sexton didn't shoot particularly well from 3 in college, and in his first NBA season he shot 40% from the 3. So that something like that doesn't really bother me that much. I think he'll be able to fix that, and I think he'll be a great piece for this Cavs team alongside Colin Sexton and Cedi Osman. Now, with the 6th pick, I have the Suns selecting Darius Garland from Vanderbilt. And Darius Garland is a great playmaker. He's a great player overall. My only problem with him is I don't think he's 6'2". I think he's more 6'1", maybe 6 foot. And in today's league, where most NBA point guards are 6'3", 6'4"-ish, maybe that'll be a problem for him. I don't know. But still, a point guard is something that the Suns desperately need. They haven't had a good point guard since Eric Bledsoe, Goran Dragic, since those days. So yeah, it makes all the sense here to select him, pair him up with Devin Booker, and yeah. Now moving on with the 7th pick, I have the Bulls selecting Kobe White from UNC. Kobe White is a great playmaker. Yeah, he's a great playmaker. He'll just be good for this team. He's a good point guard. Something that the Bulls desperately need because Chris Dunn didn't work out. He was good. I thought Chris Dunn was decent last year, but this year, obviously, he took a big step down. And, yeah. Now, with the 8th pick, I have the Hawks selecting Cam Reddish from Duke University. I think the Hawks are going to go into the draft looking to Get guys with great potential, and Cam Reddish is someone who has great potential. I mean, if you talk about it, a guy who's 6'9", great length, he can score the ball efficiently. He has a smooth jumper. Even though he shot horrible from the field this year, I think he shot horrible because he was third fiddle. You know, he didn't know his role in the offense. I mean, going into it, he was the first person out of Zion and RJ to commit to Duke. So obviously going to it, he thought he'd be the #1 guy. Obviously, it didn't work out like that. But I think those problems are behind him. I do think he'll be a great scorer. He'll be a great player in the NBA for years to come. And he'll be a great piece for this team, because this team already has their cornerstone pieces in Trae Young and John Collins. So they can take big risks like this. And they're going to take another big risk later on when I get to their next pick. But at number 9, I have the Washington Wizards selecting Sekou Doumbouya out of France. Sekou Doumbouya is 6'9", 250. Reminds me of Pascal Siakam before he blew up. You know, he's great defensively, has good speed. I think he'll be great for the Wizards here. I was thinking about them taking Bol, but I don't know if they want to take that big of a risk considering Bol's injury and how they are in desperate need of a player that can, you know, do stuff now. But I do think the team after them will take Bol, and the Atlanta Hawks will be selecting Bol with the 10th pick. Bol from Oregon. He played well to start the season. He was great to start the season until he had that lower body injury. Now, there are some concerns about him because, I mean, being 7 foot and having these lower leg injuries, you know, it's always bad. You see guys like Greg Oden, who he was projected to be great, and then he had that lower body injury throughout his career. Andrew Bynum had lower body injuries. He was an all-star before them. So, yeah, lower body injuries on big men, they're never good. You can say the same thing about Bol, but I still do think Bol will be great. You know, he's a great shooter for someone of his size. He's a great playmaker, too, for someone of his size, and ball handler. And, I mean, 7'3", you shouldn't be too bad defensively, but then again, I don't know. His dad was an amazing shot blocker, so maybe he can, maybe those traits run in the blood or something like that. But, yeah, with the 10th pick, I have the Hawks selecting Bol. Now, with the 11th pick, I have but I have a high-risk pick for the Timberwolves. I have them selecting Kevin Porter Jr. Now, I think Kevin Porter Jr. is someone else who has high potential, and it's someone who I think the Timberwolves can take a risk on, considering the fact that they already have their established corner piece in Karl-Anthony Towns, a guy who can give you 25 and 12 on the daily. He's a great player. You know, obviously he doesn't get talked about as much, but man, he's talking about someone who's versatile, who can score in many different ways. He's super efficient. He shot 51% from the field and 40% from 3, and he's super durable. I think he's only missed 2 games in his entire NBA career, and I think those 2 games were this year when he got into that car accident. So yeah, he's a great player. But Kevin Porter Jr., I think he just opened up the offense even more for you guys, for the Timberwolves, considering he's a great, he can get his own shot, even though he didn't average that many points per game this year. I think he averaged just a hair under 10, shot well from 3, shot around 42% from 3, but a concern is his free throw. He only shot 56% from the free throw line this year, but I don't even think he took 50 free throws, so maybe that played a part into it, you know, small sample size. But, I mean, yeah, as I said, a high risk because he did have a hamstring injury this year, which kind of derailed the season. And he was also suspended because of a personal conduct policy or something like that. So it was something weird that got him suspended. But, I mean, yeah, I think he'll still be good. I think he'll be good for this team. He has a lot of potential, and I think he'll reach that potential if given the right opportunity. And, yeah. So, moving on with the 12th pick, I have the Charlotte Hornets selecting Jackson Hayes. They're in desperate need of a big man as Frank Kaminsky did not work out. I'm not sure. They have Cody Zeller, correct? Not Tyler Zeller. I'm pretty sure they have Cody Zeller. To an extent, he didn't work out either. You know, he had a couple of decent seasons, but nothing really major. I think Jackson Hayes can be that great guy for you. Now, my only problem with him is that he is 220, and being a center, 220 is pretty light. And also, he's not a shooter. I think he didn't take a single... Did he? I don't know if he took a 3, but he shot 0% from 3 this season. So he wasn't making any, obviously. And, you know, with today's NBA, you want a center who can space the floor, who can make these shots. But he's a great post player. Great. Another guy who has a good potential. He can be great for this team. If Kemba stays, if Kemba goes, I think he'll still be great for this team. But I mean, yeah, that's who I had them selecting. And then moving on to the 13th pick, out of Miami Heat selecting Romeo Langford out of Indiana. Talk about a guy who's another great scorer, and that's what the Heat need right now. Guys with great scoring potential. You have Josh Richardson, who he isn't the best scorer, but he can get his own shot. You know, he's a great defender. Justice Winslow is not a scorer. Goran Dragic is 30-something, so he's getting up there in age. So I think this would be a great pick for him. Sort of, I don't want to say it, but sort of a Dwayne Wade replacement. Yeah, I don't want to say it. Nobody will ever be Dwayne Wade for the Heat, but I think he'll be great for the Heat, a great scorer, someone who can create his own shot, and I think that's what the Heat need right now. And for the last pick in the lottery, I have the Celtics selecting, I'm going to butcher his name, Nickel Alexander Walker from Virginia Tech. I don't think they'll keep this pick, as I said, for the Lakers. I think this player will be used in a trade to the Pelicans to receive AD, and I feel like they'll draft him for that reason. I mean, I think he's probably the best player available left for maybe what the Pelicans want to do. He's a 6'5" guard who's good defensively, who's good shooting wise. And yeah, again, like I said with the Lakers, I don't think they'll keep this pick. I think they do have the best package for Anthony Davis. I know I said yesterday in my Lakers What's Next, I thought the Lakers had it, but after really thinking about it, I do think the Celtics have it. I mean, they can offer Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, and 3 firsts. I don't think anybody's beating that. But I mean, yeah, that's it for my NBA mock draft lottery edition. I do want to finish it after the finals, but then again, I don't know, because if the finals do go 7th, I don't think they end until like June 18th if they go 7, and then the NBA draft is June 20th, so maybe I'll be able to squeeze it out. So that's my only concern, really, but I will try to push out the rest of the draft for you guys. But I mean, yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy. Please like and sub and share with your friends. And it's So Sports, and I'm out. Peace.